What's up, guys? Let's try back again here, bring another video. So we're going to be doing the fourth one today. Now, I wasn't sure exactly if I was going to be doing this review or not because this episode was, it was okay, I guess. There was a little bit of, excitement in it with the, sort of like a drama builder episode with some different things going on in the story, but there wasn't a whole lot in the way of zombie action. There wasn't a whole lot in the way of, there was only one zombie in the whole episode. Literally only one. I think this might be the first episode we've seen where there was literally only one zombie in the entire thing. Which, that kind of sucks. I like it better when they mix in sort of half of the, the character building parts and the pressure cooker parts with, some action here and there. And, people can say, oh, well, the story's about the character. It's a story about the character. It's about the characters. It's about the characters. Okay, if I wanted to just watch a show 100% just about the characters, then and all this, this person's pregnant from, from this, or, and whose is it, and yada, 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 and all this stuff, then I'd go watch Days of Our Lives, okay? I'm sorry, that's just the way I feel about it. It is interesting to hear and to see how the characters react, in these circumstances, which I agree to that extent. It is interesting to see the character development in this situation because of the world they live in, because of the environment. That's why it's interesting. Otherwise, like I said, it'd just be like, Days of Our Lives or some freaking soap opera like that. That comparison makes sense after watching this episode for most of you. By the way, I'm going to mention that this will contain spoilers, so if you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. You can find it on ISO Hunt. Search for it by the name, Cherokee Rose, and you'll find it. Download the torrent, watch it, all that good stuff. Then come on back and watch this review. So this was a slower episode. Like I said, not a whole lot of action at all. Not a whole lot of suspense. A little bit when Daryl was kind of going into that, that house and stuff like that. And that's kind of the part where I'd like to add that they really should have had something happen there. You know what I mean? Something should have happened. There should have been some action somewhere, in there, mixed in. It could have worked. And it really feels like, to me, they're starting to reduce the amount of zombies and the amount of action stuff that's going on with that to keep the budget down. I've done a video talking about Frank Darabont being let go from the show, a while ago. Go check that out if you want. He was the director, if you guys don't know. He's the guy who kind of, pioneered this whole thing and, got this television show going, really the ball rolling on this, and really has made it so great. And he basically, the problem was he got into a dispute with AMC because AMC gave him less funding than the first season to do more than twice as many episodes. If you guys don't know, the first season was 6 episodes and the budget was bigger than the second season, which is 13 episodes. So I think we're going to see a lot of episodes like this one where there's one zombie, maybe two, and just not a whole lot going on, like character development and, interactions between the characters and all that kind of stuff. And, that's all well and good here and there. I want it to be well balanced out. Okay, that's enough about that. I won't talk anymore about the lack of suspense and zombies and action in this episode. Other than that, the character interactions were good. I liked at the beginning where Shane, Patricia's asking Shane to sort of speak on behalf of Otis, and Shane kind of is taken back by it, and then he kind of goes ahead and talks about it and makes him out to kind of look like a hero. That was kind of cool to see that, because I always liked, that was really interesting. And on the last episode, a lot of people were, in my review, we're talking about, whether or not Shane made the right decision or the wrong decision. And I think most people agree that, he probably shouldn't have done that. But, there were other ways to do it. Maybe he should have shot him in the head. Maybe he should have, there was other things he could have maybe tried to do instead. But, So there was that, and then going on from there was some other stuff with Daryl looking for Sofia again, and I'm kind of like, at this point, I'm kind of like, how many episodes has she been missing for? 3 whole episodes, include like 4 if you include the episode where she went missing, and that they've been looking for her. I think that's getting long in the tooth. Either find her or don't find her. You know what I mean? Either get on with that, get that over with, get that wrapped up, or forget about it. You know what I mean? I'd like to see them find her quick, soon, hopefully, in the next episode. I don't want to see many more episodes go by where they're still looking for Sofia. I'll just be like, oh my God, you're still doing this? So it's just boring. I'm not saying that if that happened, I wouldn't go looking, or if I was in a group that we wouldn't go looking. It's just that this is a fictional TV show, and I don't want to see story arcs like that carry on for too long. So that's the part about Sofia. Daryl with the rose and that kind of stuff, and what he says to Sofia's mom is decent. That's all kind of cool. Kind of shows a different side to Daryl's character, aside from just the badass Wolverine tracker side that he's got with the crossbow. And then of course you've got the zombie in the well. So the zombie in the well was kind of a little interesting, I guess. I thought it was funny when his body split in half and it just all went in the water. But the thing is that he's bleeding, like it's a zombie. He's bleeding all over the place. You can see if you look at him, you're like, okay. You look down at him, he's bleeding. If they're saying, oh, we need water, whatever. Well, maybe they forget that in the first episode of the season, there was a truck full of distilled water on the highway. And Shane went back there later on in this episode. So why didn't he just say, shoot the damn thing, and I'll go back and get this truck full of distilled water and bring it here? So that to me is like, did they forget that there's all this water on the highway? If you guys remember, he opens the back and he breaks open this thing of water. There's a whole freaking truck full of distilled water there. All he would have to do is hop in and, grab it and take it back. That's it. So that was kind of silly how they had Glenn go down. So I was like, this is just nonsense. Why would you do that? Like, it's just stupid, with this big fat swimmer zombie in the water. So that was kind of, I don't know, whatever. No other comments on that, just the fact that there was water on the highway. Don't know why they didn't just go get that. Moving on from there, then, we've got the part with Maggie, who's Hershel's daughter, and Glenn. Of course, that's cool. Same as in the comic book, we knew that was kind of going to happen. And, they kind of surprised me. The show kind of here and there, it makes me think at some points that it's going just like the comic book did, and then at other points, it's very different, the fact that Shane's still here and all this stuff's going on. So, every time you see it kind of go back to how it was in the comic book and, stay on that path is kind of interesting. I kind of want to see them just go a totally different path, almost completely. Like, I'd like to see maybe Andrea and Daryl, or Andrea and Dale not get together, and maybe Andrea and Shane or something like that. Just some different stuff to keep it going along, or have some of the members of the group split off of the group, like Shane leave or something, like this kind of stuff. I think that that's all very interesting and keeps it really fresh, because if it's the same as the comic book, it is sort of like, just like, oh, well, we already knew that. Like the reveal in this episode at the end, spoiler, Lori's pregnant with Shane's kid, obviously. I think Rick already knows about that, because I think Jenner told him in the first season. Probably he did. So he already knows and everything, and so she knows for sure now. And, that's going to just be like a pressure cooker there in the group and cause more problems between Shane and Rick. And maybe at the season finale will be Shane's last episode, or maybe, like I said, Shane will go his own way. I'd kind of like to see Shane go his own way and just see how that goes down. That would be kind of interesting. Other than that, what else was there in this episode? Oh, the conversation between Hershel and Ric. Kind of interesting, kind of cool to hear some of Hershel's backstory that we didn't really, hear about in the comic book. We didn't really know that he had problems with his dad. At least it's been a little while since I read the comics, but I'm pretty sure Hershel never mentioned his father in the comic books even once. So that's a nice little addition, a little bit more details, and the fact that he's, mentioning that he will consider allowing them to stay, where in the comic book he was like, basically like, no, So that's kind of neat, that part. And another thing, I'm not sure if Hershel has sons in the TV show. You see, in the comic book, he had a whole bunch of sons. How many sons did he have? At least 2 or 3, maybe 4, I forget. 2 or 3 sons. And in the TV show, I haven't seen one of them. Maybe it was just me, but I haven't seen a single son there. Now, when they were all standing around, they were doing Otis's thing. I thought I might have saw a couple extra people, but it was really quick, and and then it cut to commercials or whatever. So I didn't really get a whole idea of whether or not there was his sons there and that kind of stuff. If he even has them in the TV show, maybe he doesn't even. I don't even know. I mean, I guess we'll have to see how that all works out. What else is there to say about this episode? Oh yeah, rating. This episode, I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. This is one of the lowest scores I've given for an episode of The Walking Dead since the first season. It's not a bad episode per se. It's just that I don't want the show to forget what the show is. Okay, I don't want it to forget what it is. It's a character-driven drama. Okay, suspense horror based in a zombie apocalypse-based world. I don't want to see episodes where there's only one zombie. And I'm sorry, some of you may feel different, but I don't want to see that. I don't want to see it. You got to have at least 5 or 10 zombies in every episode. Other than if that doesn't happen, I'm like, okay, this is starting to get bad. Right at this point is where Frank Darabont left. So I guess we'll see if the rest of the season is like this. I hope it's not. I mean, we had such a good episode last episode with Shane and everything that happened with that. This episode, I don't want to say it was a letdown because there was the reveal with Laurie. So a lot of people who haven't read the comic book would find that interesting. But in other ways, it was kind of a letdown. It wasn't as good as the previous episodes of the season. It was more like the second episode where just there was a lot of character development, but nothing really major happened aside from the pregnancy thing. So I guess that's pretty much all there is to say. I mean, I'm trying, guys. I'm trying to think of anything else because, like this episode, there just wasn't a whole lot that happened in it. So I guess I'll wrap it up here with saying that I hope that this isn't because of the budget cuts. And, AMC, if the rest of the season is going to be like this, and luckily we get a third season, don't cut the budget again for the third season. Because I want to see zombies, man. I want to see lots of zombies, okay? Mix in all the character development, great. Lots of zombies. Okay, I'm repeating myself now. See you guys. That's it. Later. Peace.